this is a crash course on standard 7.NS.2b or dividing rational numbers. So we can use the same rules that we did when we were doing multiplying rational numbers, that when we have the same sign, it's positive. And then when we have different signs, it's negative. So again, what I mean by sign is it positive or negative? So for instance, if we had a positive number divided by a positive number, we're going to still get a positive answer. If I had a negative number divided by a negative number, we still get a positive answer. But if I had a positive divided by a negative, or a negative divided by a positive, in both cases, we're going to get negative answers. So this one's going to kind of have the same kind of rules as multiplying. So if you watched my multiplying video for 7NS2A, it should be pretty similar. So what's going to happen is either they're going to give you a straight up division problem, which is usually something to do with unit rate. So that would go back to some of our RP standards. So sometimes it's a unit rate problem where something is going down or decreasing. So it could be something that's unit rate that's going down, decreasing, like an elevator going down or a submarine going down, something where we could have like a negative elevation usually. So when we're thinking about elevation, if it's below sea level, it's going to be negative. So that could be something they ask you, or they could ask you those weird ones with the variables and the letters again, where it says something's greater than 0 and something is less than 0. So if they tell you that x is greater than 0 and y is less than 0, that means that x, because it's bigger than 0, is positive, and y is less than 0, it's negative. So then if they asked you x divided by y, is it going to be positive or negative? I know that this is a positive number divided by a negative number, so I'm going to get a negative answer. So that would be less than 0. A lot of the times they just like to have less than 0 mean negative and greater than 0 mean positive, just to kind of make sure that you understand the inequality symbols and that all negative values are less than 0 and all positive values are greater than 0. They could switch this around so that they're both negative and you got to know it's greater than 0, or they could switch it around which one's positive, which one's negative. Maybe they're both positive, but that's usually kind of the trick that they like to do, is they'll give you a letter and you got to figure out, okay, is it just a positive number or is it a negative number based on what they said, how it's related to 0, and then figure out your answer from there. So those are some tips and tricks for standards 7NS2B.